All right, guys, today we have Brittney Shull on the podcast. Thank you for Brittney for coming in. Wanted to have you on because Central Valley Real Producers caught my eye. I wanted to get involved. Mm-hmm. I think what you're doing is going to be really big here in the Central Valley.
Yeah.
And apparently we're one of the few people that don't have the magazine yet, so I'm glad you brought it here. So I want to know a little about you, and then I want to know how you got involved with Real Producers.
Absolutely. So, it's Brittney Shull. I am an owner of a brokerage in Minnesota called B Realty, and the owner of Central Valley Real Producers. I've been in real estate since I was 19. So I'm a lifer.
Oh, wow.
I've been in a bunch of variations. I've my degree's in interior design. So I was a designer for a large builder for a while. Worked for a custom builder. I managed mortgage processing sites, and eventually 9 years ago decided to go back into existing real estate sales and start my own team, and kind of evolved from there. How I landed here and a publisher of a real estate facing magazine is in 2019. I was overworked and exhausted.
Yeah.
I was a single mom of a 4-year-old, and I was working 70 hours a week. I was in the middle of my third flip by myself. I just everything was too much, and I dropped to my knees and I was like, Lord, I can't manage this anymore. And then my son said, Mama, you need a husband. And I said, pray for me.
They always have the answers.
I know. Yeah, we were talking about our boys, and I think they're both empaths.
A little too honest sometimes.
Yeah.
They get it.
And I said, you know what, baby? I do. Thank you. You're right. I do. Will you pray for me? Will you pray for that? And from that night forward for 30 days, he prayed, Lord, please give my mom a husband who will take care of us, who will love us, and help her out.
I feel like God puts them first in line too.
Yes.
Their cell phone signal stronger than ours.
Yes.
They don't have all the apps downloaded,
yes.
so they have a stronger. And God's I'll respond to that.
Oh my
faster.
God, I love the way you said that, because I do too. I'm like, yes, if he prays that, it's gonna get heard. Yeah. I mean, I had been
Mine's
single for
UPS. Yours is like a direct text.
Yeah. So 30 days later, met my now husband in Minnesota. He is born
Actual 30 days later?
It was about 30 days. Wow. I mean, okay, so he probably started
That's
praying I don't know, May. Yeah. And I met Steven on July 2nd.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
It was, but my son, every night during his prayers, he just added that to his prayers. I didn't have to re-ask him. And it really felt like, for me, it wasn't God was saying, okay, he's ready too. Mm-hmm. So we had just this open heart and acceptance to whatever came our way as a little team, the two of us,
Some people are like, I've been looking for a husband for years.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, it took a lot, I had to heal through a lot of things first on my own, but having my son, because he never knew me and his father in a household together. Mm-hmm. So, I don't, the fact that he even knew what a husband would provide as a 4-year-old felt like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I do. Thank you. God did make two of us to work together.
That's hilarious.
All of this.
Yeah.
And so I met my husband, and he said, hey, I think this is real special. I said, me too, but we live 2,200 miles apart. And wow. I'm a city girl, and I have a whole career here that I had built and worked really hard for. And so we just said, Lord, if this is your plan, we know you'll move mountains that we could never imagine moving. Mm-hmm. And so if this goes on with ease, then we know it's of you and it's not of us, right? So we're not forcing something. And my husband flew back for our first date at that time, and for 10 months, at that time he was like, my business will never need to send me here again. I'm never coming back. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, great. That's awesome. Yeah. And they sent him back every 3 to 4 weeks for 10 months. He was shipped, during COVID.
Yeah.
Every 3 to 4 weeks for 10 months. And then I sold my house and moved to Exeter, this cute, tiny town. And
so how did you go from Minnesota to why Exeter, or how did that?
Yeah, well, he's born and raised in Exeter.
Oh,
so all of his family, his parents, his grandparents, everybody on his side of the world is in Exeter. Also, he blessed me with 2 bonus daughters, and my custody arrangement was much easier for me to altar than his. So it was if we're going to live somewhere and not ask him to like let go of one of his children for majority time, it has to be here. So that was it. It was the only option.
Did your son pray for sisters too?
I don't know if he prayed. I mean,
you're like, did you do this?
Yeah, no, I'm actually really grateful. I always wanted more children. And so it was like, and here's the crazy thing. So if you don't believe in vision boards, you're wrong. Because when 2020 started, I made it in 2019, December 2019. I made my vision board for 2020. I still make them, just so you know. I
started one. It's just not really complete.
I still cut out magazines. Like I have it. It's on in my bathroom wall, and I'll share a little bit about our current one. But for 2020, I had a ring and 3 children on it.
Whoa!
I don't know why I thought I was gonna like go from finding just a boyfriend to like all the way to having 3 kids, but God answered. He was like, all right, here is the love of your life. You're ready. And by the way, it's like a family in the box, right? Like here's those other 2 children. So it's been perfect. I love my daughters. I hate the word stepmom because I feel like I'm like, I get to be their bonus mom, you know, and they're my bonus girls. Like I love them and they're a huge blessing in my life.
Wow.
So yeah, I always say when people ask like, how did you land here? Right? Like you asked, I'm like, I am a Hallmark story. I'm the city girl that worked 1 million hours, that dropped to her knees and prayed for balance because life was too big for just one person to manage. And he said, I got you, but I'm going to need you to listen to me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, 2 years before that.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense either. You're like,
no,
I don't think you got I think you got someone else's mail because this isn't what I asked for.
I know. And you know what? In my vows, I even wrote like, thank God he does not limit our blessings to our prayers.
Yeah.
Because man, if he only gave us what we asked for, our scope is so small, right?
Yeah. He laughs. He's like, you guys are small.
Well, and I'm that girl that's like, you know, when people are like, everybody hates people from California. I was that girl who was like, if I would ever left the state of Minnesota, I just wouldn't go to California. And I feel like God was like, oh, you're so cute.
I know.
Like, let me tell you where you're going to go to get all those things that you've been praying for.
Yeah.
And, and COVID, you know, opened my mind to be like more open to living anywhere out of the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, I think he did that for a lot of people. Everyone was just packing up, leaving.
Yeah,
especially in California.
Yeah, I mean, I know, and I'm like, oh, let me come in.
People are leaving here, going to Idaho. I think we were losing like 100,000. We couldn't even keep U-Hauls.
You guys like repopulated Idaho.
Yeah,
and Texas, I think.
Yeah, I think we destroyed their economy too. Now the houses up there are like $600,000, $700,000. But
so bad.
Yeah, we couldn't keep U-Hauls here because they were going out, not coming back fast enough. And you were like, well, I'm going to California. And it was like, no. Everyone's going to Tennessee, Idaho, Texas, Florida.
Why would you come in? People tell me that all the time. Like, what the heck? Why would you come here? And I'm like, actually, there's this little nugget in the middle of California. And it's fucking amazing. Sorry, I don't mean to swear.
It's not. We're like the little like red Texas part of like we kind of do our own thing here.
Like nobody, even Californians. When I say I'm from the Central Valley, like when I'm out of seminar in San Diego, and people are like, "Oh, where are you from? Central Valley." Oh, okay. So like, where's that?
You live like in a farm town, like
I do actually, but and it's
been.
Do
you guys have like one Walmart and that's it? It's like no, it's pretty cool here.
It's been like one of the best blessings of my life because not only that's a little bit of my personal story, but quickly after I moved here, I was like, duh, I'll just sell real estate. It's what I've done for 20 years. I'm pretty good at it. Like I do decent business. And I've built a team. I've built a brokerage. So I'll just do it again. Yeah. But like.
And we're like the 6th fastest growing city in, I think, the nation right now.
Yeah.
I think. Or California or the nation.
California, actually.
We're growing fast.
And Visalia in 2022 was listed as like one of the best hidden gems for Airbnbs.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at that and going, what the heck? Like nobody even knows, nobody knows where this is on the map, but it's one of the best, it's proximity to the mountains and such. But yeah, so I thought that was like the automatic response. I got licensed. I did some real estate, but I had this like fire inside me. And I started praying again, like, oh, I want to be more connected. I'm really meant to be a connector. I like, what should I be doing, Lord? Like, how do you want to use my fire?
Yeah.
And went down this random rabbit hole and started looking into Real Producers, mostly because in the Twin Cities, we have Twin Cities Real Producers, and it is a gorgeous publication that features all the top realtors.
Yeah.
And I didn't really realize it was a privately owned like entity. Like each magazine was owned.
Yeah.
Had their own franchisee, I guess. So I started looking into it. I just filled out this thing, like, want more information, on the website. Like, oh, I want to hear more about being an era director. Because I was like, Central Valley doesn't have this. It's pretty freaking awesome up in Minnesota. Why not learn more?
Yeah.
The first meeting, she's like, make sure you bring your resume. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not looking for a job. I don't even have a resume. I'm self-employed.
Yeah.
She's like, never mind. It's fine. So I didn't really realize I was like going through the chain to like see if I qualify at first, I was very naive. And again, now looking back, I'm like, it's because I was asking for God to show me, but I wasn't looking to be a publisher. I was looking to use my fire.
Yeah.
Right. So like two different things there.
Yeah.
And so I when I realized that Central Valley was available and just what really the premise of the magazine is, the connecting, elevating, collaboration.
Yeah.
And for me, the opportunity to share our top performing realtors and partners true life stories, their testimonies.
Yeah.
That for me is what I was like, yep, I need to be a part of that. I love the idea of us really, truly knowing each other. I think when we do, we create respect and empathy like no other, and we become a true community. Not just this like, oh, I know him or I've done a deal with him. It's more of a, like, we are connected. We are going to build great things together if we're more connected.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the heart of it for me.
Yeah, because I've never heard of Real Producers. You already know I bought into some other random magazine.
Yeah.
Did nothing for me. They were from like another state. I don't know if anyone ever saw it, but
go check them out.
Yeah. Go check out Lux, Living Fresno, or I'm somewhere in there.
It is.
But no, it was really cool when you reached out, because I had actually been praying on something different, trying to connect with more homeowners because no one's protecting themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm part of ARIA. I joined all these groups, but I was like, there has to be something else where I can connect more with people, do the podcast, learn more about these people. And so when you were telling me about this magazine, I was like, oh man, am I going to buy into another magazine? But then you were telling me, and then I saw Parminder, and then you brought me these other ones, and I was like, whoa. I was like, these could really show, like, these might have more people wanting to come visit our lakes and our beaches. And I was like, these look like, this doesn't look like a small farm town.
Right.
Fresno. I was like, got the Lamborghini, we got the beautiful lake. I was like, whoa, this might be something I need to join.
Yeah.
These look really good, especially, I'm like, these don't look like a small farm town magazines to me. Like, Fresno looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
we're actually freaking awesome here. Just by the way, Yeah,
I was like, you can go to small country concerts here.
Yeah.
And you can go to, we have beautiful lakes here, 45 hour and a half skiing until February. And then if you go west 2.5 hours, I think Pismo Beach just got named like third nicest beach. Like,
yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and especially as soon as like the Kardashians went to Ventana, like everything just started growing there.
Right.
So now it's almost like you can't even find a house
there.
Well,
and Three Rivers, if you go up to Three Rivers and then you go to the Sequoias to see the General Sherman, you see all the tourism there. We are, I think one of the coolest things where I come from in Minnesota, everybody has a cabin, a property on water 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And they go to the same cabin, the same property on water. When my husband moved me here, I was like, guys, I don't have to have a cabin. I can go 2 hours any direction for whatever adventure I want. If I want to ski, I want to have a snow day, I want to go to the beach, I want to do wine tasting. I don't have to limit myself to one location. Yeah. I can have relaxing vacations 2 hours away of any type all year round, which is so cool. We're in a very... I think that was the other... really exciting thing about Real Producers for me is Real Producers is in 150 locations across the country right now. We were the 5th, I believe, potentially the 6th, but I think we're the 5th in California to launch. And to me, being a place where a lot of people have never heard of, and to take us off the map in this realm, it felt really like an honor, especially because I'm not from around here. So to be able to say, like, I know I'm not a local, but guys, I want to become a local with you.
Yeah.
Like, let me dive into your culture and your like niche market. And there are differences here in how we do real estate versus other spaces, but we can do it even better if we're all doing it together and we're collaborating.
Yeah, because you were saying like LA has one, Sacramento already has a magazine.
LA,
but
I think
Fresno didn't have one.
No, Fresno didn't. So we have Monterey, Sacramento, San Diego.
Yeah.
There's an inland San Diego somewhere down there. And Silicon Valley, and then us. And now just north of us, in between here and Sacramento, we're in the middle of launching another one, which is very exciting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's coming. But I felt like this little piece of pride to be like, Central Valley's off the hook, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's funny because literally I had a friend on not too long ago, and I was like, it kind of sucks that a few months ago, or maybe last year, a comedian came to Fresno.
Oh.
And he made a little joke on his podcast because he was in downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And, you come off the 99.
Just judging.
You go downtown, you jump back on the 99 and leave.
And you didn't
you're
see
like,
anything else.
You're like, what the hell? Like, who lives here?
I know.
But you don't realize our population's like 600,000. Like, we're not a small city.
No.
We're a big city.
Yeah.
But, he was talking about the girls downtown, and he was like, the meth. I was looking up statistics and the crime rates, and people were barking at my show. And I was like, no. I was like, okay, next time you come in, jump like on the 180, hit the 168, come out here, jump on the 41, go to River Park, go to a lake, go somewhere. I was like, no, don't, go to Woodward, go hang out. We have normal, cool stuff here. We're not just a little. So I was kind of bummed out. I was like, I wish he would come back. And he's like one of the comedians I really like.
Well, maybe tag him.
Yeah, I was like, I wish he would come back. And then we'll be like,
hey, you come back. We're going to set you up.
Yeah.
We're going to take you on the day of your life.
Yeah.
Where you
We're going to take you to get some really good food. We're going to take you out to like River Park area.
Yeah.
And then we're going to jump on the 41 and go to Bass Lake and have a hamburger right on the water. It's like, we're not just 99 downtown.
So funny.
So I really like when I see stuff like this coming out. Because it just shows like, you pick this up and you're like, Central Valley, where's Central? Like, you think like LA when people say I'm from the Valley.
Yeah.
And then you're like, look at this lake. Like, look at these houses. Look at this background. It's like, no, it's Fresno. We're not just, known for like Fresno State Bulldogs and then whatever other rumors you hear. So,
well,
I
and
really like
when you have a
like
magazine, I think one of the cool things is all the content is also from our community.
Yeah.
Right. So it's our realtors. It's the true lives of the people right around us.
Yeah.
And not across the state of California or across the country. It's just, this is hyper local information.
Yeah.
And I think that makes it way more intriguing to read and to be a part of.
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is, and you'd be surprised, like so many of our realtors and lenders here in Fresno, I mean, they've got some pretty big followings. I know we have,
oh my gosh,
we're not just this unknown. I mean, like I said, we're one of the fastest growing. I mean, every corner you turn on going east or even north now, I mean, they're building high schools next year. There's new construction everywhere.
And
so
all of our small
really cool.
towns are like revamping. I know Parminder, he was talking about how he's on like the council for Selma, and they're like excited to bring people in to show them how they're rebuilding the community and the downtown. And I love seeing that. I think it's so cool.
But like you said, other people in other states look at California. You guys can't even finish a train, or 1,500 feet costs you guys $10 billion.
Yeah.
Where's all your money going? Oh, you guys just misplaced another $20 billion in your homelessness. It's like, I get it, but the Central Valley is we're special.
Separate.
We're it's hot as hell here. It's gonna be like 115 next week.
I know.
But
4th of July is actually 112. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I told my husband, this is the 3rd year in a row that we feel stuck in the house on 4th of July. We need to like
Yeah.
travel.
But that's why almost every house you go to has an RV, because Pismo and one of the biggest dunes in the nation
Yes.
is 2 hours away.
Yes.
We got Huckfest. People fly their trucks in the air.
Yeah.
You know, all those restaurants right there are awesome. The Airbnbs are insane over there. They're building so much just right there from Avila, San Luis Obispo, Pismo. Because when you go to Monterey, you know, when people think California,
Yeah.
oh, it's impossible to live there. A house in San Francisco is $1 million. It's
Right.
like, well, there's other places, but
Yeah.
you're not far. And I always tell people, if you're going to move here, you definitely want to, people usually, any house you go to in the Valley, mostly, either people have dirt bikes, boats, jet skis, or a mobile home, because
Yeah.
there's or just crazy camping gear and kayaks.
Yes.
Because there's so much stuff to
Yeah.
do here. But that's why I like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have, so there's an event coming up.
We do. We have our first
What's
event.
the event?
Yeah, so a part of the model with Real Producers is we're not just print, right? So first of all, the magazine goes to the top 500 producing realtors between Tulare, Madera, Kings, and Fresno County. It gets mailed to the top 500, and then we email it out to the top 2,000 realtors. With that, again, to really create natural connection is to be in a room together. So another part of our model is that we have 4 to 6 events a year that really are meant to be opportunity to mingle. So between partners like yourself and our other partners, having that exclusive opportunity to stand in a room with these top performers and create a relationship, because we know we all prefer working with people that we know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
We also know that realtors are so much more of a conduit to the community than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
I as a realtor in Minnesota, or a broker, I get asked every single day for a resource for something. And I love it, because it means my clients are still thinking about me, even well after closing. Last week, I was asked for a divorce attorney.
Yeah,
and I was like, I got you.
Yeah,
right?
Who's your guy? I got a guy.
Yeah, and realtor, we want that. We want to be the one you think of anytime you need anyone at all. And so how do we make sure
It's like your
we're
magnet
putting
on the fridge. They're always thinking about you.
Yeah. So for us, then we need to stay really connected with those people that can serve our clients well, so that when our name is tied to it, it goes really well. Also, for our partners, they're already known, liked, and trusted because of our connection and the fact that client knows, likes, and trusts us, right? So they trust our resources. So it really is, it's such a fun opportunity to connect with the connector in the community, and to connect with those that are doing it at such a high level, because those are the ones that are really like, working with the top 10% is doing 90% of the business, right? And their clients know that, right? So to be able to be just that middleman between all of it is
well, and
awesome.
especially because, like we were talking about, so many people buying their first home.
Yeah.
They don't realize, I need a roof guy. I need a solar guy. I need blinds. Yeah. Who's, I don't want to pay $12,000.
An organizer.
Yeah. Or I just moved here from whatever, like, what's there to do around here? We have so many different types of groups that I just barely found this last year. I was like, we have a lot of cool groups here that I wasn't even involved in. So the other really cool thing is that I don't really mention it all the time, but all of our partners that are in the magazine are not like referred to me by a top producing realtor. Yeah. So we're not just out there like Googling anybody. We're really vetting them. Or if I'm not vetting them, a realtor is vetting them, saying like, oh yeah, this is who I love. This is who I use for this, X, Y, Z. Have a conversation with them. See if they're interested in growing with more realtors like that realtor, And that, I think that's the coolest part, is it becomes such a reputable resource. Because if somebody's looking for a backup plumber, like the plumber happens to be on vacation, everybody should take vacations. Yeah. And they know like, okay, let me just flip to the index and see who we have in here, because I know that they were vetted by somebody else that has the quality of work that I require. Yeah, I don't want to worry about it.
Yeah. So it's just really a relational opportunity, or the magazine really is all about relationships and creating a space where we can all work together.
You said, so how many events are there a year? Because everything that I've bought into are magazines. they don't have events where you can actually meet the people and say, hey, I'm page 7, we should work together. I do this with insurance, and I see that you're a top lender or a producer or a realtor.
Right.
So you guys, so who organizes those events? Do you organize?
It's all me. It's me. I'm the problem. Yeah. I do. So our first event is July 23rd. It's going to be at Fresno BMW.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's called Brews and Beamers. Use ChatGPT for a cute name.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, we're going to have some local breweries serving up their beer. We're going to have beautiful beamers all around us. I have a DJ coming in to kind of do that like hot girl summer vibe.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's just going to be a fun summer mixer for our realtors and our partners to hang out and have conversation and have a beer. We're having it catered. So the collective catering is doing like a what do they call that? A pairing. So brew where the beer will be paired with different types of food. So it should be like a really fun, unique,
that's fun.
Outside the box. It's middle of the day, 4 to 6. So it's not, super disruptive to your schedule.
Right in your call. Yeah. Trying to make calls and I got to get there. Yeah.
And it's on a Tuesday. So I'm not taking over your Friday night. It's, just come out, hang, get to know our partners, and share what's working for you versus somebody else. I mean, I think the last one we did at Magash Brewing, and I just loved hearing some of the top realtors collaborating over like lead sources and what's working for each other. And I had one afterwards go, that was so cool. I had never met, like that was a Visalia or Tulare County realtor. And he was like, I've always wanted to meet that realtor from Fresno. And we spent an hour talking and just sharing what's working for us.
We're all Instagram friends, but it's like, hey, who's your video guy? Your videos look really good. How can I... And that's one of the things I'm always so blown away by in the real estate community.
Yep.
You guys all like go to each other's events.
Yeah, we support each other.
FAR, ARIA. I mean, it's crazy. Like I'm like, you guys all support. In insurance, it's not like that. We are very we don't.
You're all competition.
We're all competition.
Yeah.
Like I'm only going to an event if like Gary V's there giving me advice. Like I'll buy a ticket.
Love Gary V.
But I was always surprised, and that's why I like that when you told me that you have events.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is actually, I actually want to be a partner on this. I think.
Because it gives you more value, right?
Yeah.
Not
I
only
can actually
they're
go
seeing
meet my
you,
potential clients.
Exactly. They're seeing you, which is great. But ultimately, when you get the opportunity to shake hands and they get to meet you in person, now you're human. And then, our partners also get to share their story. So they get a full article written on them. And that brings value because now you're really humanized. They know what kind of dog you have. They know your why. Like, who doesn't want to understand other people's why?
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me. But like, oh my gosh, we have the same upbringing. We connect now. I totally want to get to know you better. Right.
Yeah.
And we did that over a 1-hour Zoom. We were like, wait, we have a lot in common. We should keep connecting.
No, yeah, definitely. Well, but that makes it worth it, I think, because I'm sure we're always all buying into things for leads.
For sure.
We're all spending money on billboards or YouTube channel, whatever it is. So I was like, okay, finally we have a magazine that I'm going to buy into, but I get to go meet my new clients or my, people I'm going to be networking with.
Yeah.
And then, and at least it's over something fun where we're not just going to an event, sitting down.
Yeah. I'm like, no, we're not sitting.
Yeah.
We're going to like hang out around some cocktail tables, have some really great music.
Yeah.
And just get to know each other and then continue that every couple months where I'm already planning October's event as well. So that's gonna hopefully be like a wine tasting and some version of a
ChatGPT will figure it out.
Yeah, I'll come up with a cute name.
Yeah, Hey, I'm in Fresno. It's still kind of hot. What are some events? You're my event planner. Tell me.
Well, no, I normally go like, okay, give me 10 name options for an event that includes, in this case, I was like beer and beamers.
Yeah,
and
you gotta give it the right prompts, pretty much. Yeah, no, I think that totally makes it worth it for people who want to get their name out there, but also know that they do good work, whether it's roofing, tile, solar cleaners, whatever it is. So I was excited when you were like, okay, well, but we do events. We have an email list. You can actually go in here, read someone's story and say, oh, wow, I have kind of the same story.
Right.
I have their number right here. I'm going to reach out to them.
I can connect right from here. Yeah.
And I think that's going to make the central, because I recognize a lot of these people, but when you actually read like where they're from, how they started, you're like, oh, I'm going to reach out to them and tell them my story. Now we have a solid connection. I get new leads now. I get more work, which means I can, not only show people what I can do, but like we were saying earlier, a lot of people just don't know where to look because everyone is looking for, my dishwasher went out, this expired, my insurance is gone now, I need help, but how does this work? And we can all just say, oh, I know somebody, and keep it all here in the valley.
And wouldn't you say, like, back to that, like, we've gotten to a world where, like, if you Google a plumber for your dishwasher, there's 2,000, and you just don't even, like, how do you make that decision? So most people either go to a realtor, a friend that they think might know somebody, or go on Facebook, right? They go on Facebook and they're like, anybody local know a plumber? Oh yeah, my cousin Bob, call him. And then you're like, whew, okay. So we all do prefer relational business and sharing like business together through relationships. I mean, that is our preferred method. Online is a great resource and we need it. But if we ever can ask somebody else we know, we're gonna first, right? And so that's really why this has been such a hit across the nation.
Well, I think, because I know there's other things you can join. I've joined a few things, or you get like the Google verifications, but it's always better when someone really, word of mouth is always best.
Oh, for sure.
If I call you and say, hey, my concrete's breaking because a tree root's going through. Do you know someone? I actually do. And I can, or because if you don't, you're like, I kind of do, but not like, we're always honest with each other because like we don't want to embarrass you.
You're like, oh, just in case. He's never worked for me, but I think I know him. But like, don't put my name on it too hard.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny because you were mentioning, when every time I give one of my real estate clients to a lender, I go, this is how I know them. This is why, like, basically I'm like, this is why you need to treat them like they're your child, right? Like, love them.
Don't embarrass me.
Right? But it's funny because I give that same, like the same spiel, whether they found me on my website or they are a past client's sister. I'm like, this is a past client's sister. This client, has sent me 5 other people. Work, do your best with them. And of course I know they're going to, because that's why I work with them, is I already trust them. But it's funny, then you get that, like, the lead from your website, and I go, this is lead from my website. It could be a great referral source going forward. Don't fuck it up, And it's like, anybody you encounter,
right? Or it's like when you tell someone to go check out a new restaurant and then that weekend they suck and they're like, dude, I spent $200. Like, oh, they got a new cook and I just spent $200. That restaurant sucked. I'm like, oh no,
terrible advice.
Like, we all hate that. But no, that's why I think this is going to be. It's going to grow really strong connections.
Thank you.
That's why I wanted to have you on, because I also want to grow this podcast. And let people know, like, we've got top producers here. We've got amazing business owners. We've got interesting stuff going on in the Valley. We're not just known for, whatever goes on in the 99 and meth. But
and also, like, there's such a, for the other listener that's like, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't know where to start. The world is limitless, right? I've been in real estate since I was 19 because I basically grew up in real estate, but I love it. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd ever have a title of publisher, right? Like that wasn't, I didn't go to college to be a writer or
I didn't think
in
I'd
literature.
Want to be a podcaster. Like, how does that happen?
So it's just like, there are so many opportunities out there. Just don't limit your mindset. Like, it's all about just one foot in front of the other and consistency, and anything is possible. And knowing that nobody else is better or smarter than you, like, you can do whatever you want. You just have to do the hard work. There was definitely tears building this. I'm not going to lie. It's scary to start something new. It takes a lot of hours to build up something from the ground, and to bring something into an area that's never heard of it, right? Like, nobody was like, oh yeah, I've heard of Real Producers. No, it's like they're believing in your belief in it, your passion for it. And so whatever you, like, my advice to anybody else is, like, whatever you choose to do, just be all in and like, just do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
Well, especially even just becoming an entrepreneur. I mean, I know a lot of people are leaning now towards real estate. People want their freedom. They're getting an insurance, starting a business. But that entrepreneur
lifestyle. So
not having the 2-week paycheck, and now I got to make connections, and who do
my
I join?
gosh.
It's like you have to join a group. You have to be part of the community.
Yeah.
You got to go to webinar. You got to, you got to do some free stuff here and there. But especially for realtors, I can't, because at least in insurance, when I jumped in, I was like, okay, now what do I do? I got my license.
Oh, real estate's the
everyone
same.
needs life insurance. Nobody wants to buy it. It's like, okay, well, do I buy a billboard? What do you do? You know? So
but what I would say is whatever you do, don't stop doing it.
Yeah.
Like whatever you pick, my business model when I started my real estate business back up 9 years ago was literally, okay, I don't want to be on phones. I don't mind door knocking, but I don't really want to do it. So what am I going to do, and what will I enjoy doing enough, right?
I don't know.
So for me, I mean, when you start any business, you don't want to pour too much money from the get-go, right?
Or waste time. You're like, well, I did that for a month, got nothing from it, and I got bills coming up.
Yeah. So I just, my business model was happy hour, play dates, and what was the other? Coffee dates. I would just say, like, how many happy hours, how many play dates, because I had a little one.
Yeah.
How many coffee dates do I have every week? And if I just show up doing those things, because I love talking to people, so it's easy to sit across a coffee table
has their
and
niche too.
Hear about their life and feel empathy for them and show up and listen. And inspire sometimes, be their inspiration to try something different.
Yeah.
That was how I built my business. And so that, like, again, coming in back to the magazine, when I realized, like, okay, what's the basis of the magazine? Building relationships and putting relationships together. Oh, I've been doing that for 20 years. I got this, you know, like that. I was like, oh, phew, it's the skills God gave me.
Yeah. Well, especially after COVID, a lot of people were transitioning to different jobs. They didn't know what they wanted to do. This actually is not something I thought this was going to be safe. So a lot of people I know were doing real estate kind of part-time.
Yeah.
Or they just were like, I want to start getting and investing and flipping, but I don't want to mess this up. I've heard terrible stories, and there's all these weird laws in California.
Oh my gosh.
And I would tell them, join our little group or join FAR. They have speakers that you have to join. And Fresno, I think, is really good at that stuff.
Yeah.
We're not like I don't know how it is in LA, but we're not like a big city where everyone's like
big
cutthroat.
Enough? Yeah, big enough.
We're
but
like we help each other.
Yeah.
So like Clovis, like I was saying, Clovis is still one of those places where like someone pulls out in front of you, you kind of just like wave to each other.
Like,
sorry. But, like the bigger the cities you go to, it's like that's when you start getting flipped off and cussed out. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not in my little
honked at.
Yeah. But I think it's, everyone needs, people are just tribal anyway.
Totally.
So after COVID, I think that woke a lot of people up. Everyone, like I said, I was buying into a lot of different things to join and
to try to figure.
They're kind of working, not really. But then I was like, you know what? I just need to go get back out in the community. Met guys like Sam. He introduced me to these people. These people were like, you should join here. And then before you know it, I know the whole community now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm not struggling. I'm not paying Google thousands of dollars to hopefully
get one lead.
Bring me, some leads or whatever it is.
Yeah. But which is a fine business model for somebody. Like that works too. But if you want to be,
got expensive though.
Yeah. It's like the Zillow leads for realtors.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, wait a second, let's switch lead sources. This
Going
has
back
gotten
to
out
word
of control.
of mouth.
Yeah. Which honestly is the easiest type of business. There is no easier way to do business than not having to sell yourself because somebody gave your name and they trust that person so much that they trust you. If we're breaking it down, the best version of business is that. The only way you can get that is to stay relevant and stay out there and be active and engaged in whatever community you choose. When I was doing my happy hour play dates and coffee dates, I was on a book club, a meal swap, I was in a women's golf league, and I was in a MOPS group with like 70 women. I was like, what are things I love to do? I want to golf every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. with a bunch of women, right? Like, okay, I want to meal swap and like sit on the couch with moms that are a little bit ahead of me and realize like life is hard and we're all in the same phase and we can like talk through this. And then, Christian Moms group where we're able to connect over our children, our faith, being women, and I was like, if I just stick to these groups and do it well, show up be in the leadership team of it, show up and do it well, business will follow because it'll be natural business, people who naturally like and respect you.
Yeah. I always tell people that. You made me think, for entrepreneurs, obviously, our mindset in the beginning is always, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
I want to come to your event. I want to buy the ticket. I want to come to your dinner, but I also want to meet some people that I can do business with.
Who you're going to connect me with. Yeah.
That's what we're all thinking.
For sure.
We don't have the normal, you go into work, you say hi to everyone, you go to your desk, or you go, you're driving a truck or whatever. Yeah. You're getting paid. We're always thinking, okay, I'm going to spend 3 hours at this event. I'm going to go golfing. But I always tell people, after you start doing that for a little while, that what's in it for me starts going away.
Totally
you start
goes
meeting
away.
Some cool people.
Yeah.
You actually you're like, I actually like golfing now.
Yes.
I just went here to go meet because someone invited me. I didn't really want to golf. Now you love golfing, or now you love this, or now you're going to church more, or you're, or whatever it is. I always say, so you do have to get out there. You do have to be part of a community, because even at this, I bet you at the event, I'm going to meet a few more people.
Yeah, you'll know
some. They can help me with my cameras, or can this or that, or they'll know business owners or other lunch things. I always tell people you're always kind of selfish in the beginning. I got to make money today. But you'd be surprised. You start showing up to things, and you're like, this is actually kind of cool. I'm going to join this. I'm going to do that. I didn't know I was into whatever it might be.
Pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball. Yeah.
I always tell my team members too, because that, especially going into real estate, a lot of realtors are like, well, what am I getting from that? I have to charge for that. I have to do.
Yeah.
And I've always had this, if you leave your hand open and you only come from contribution. So I show up to everything, not thinking about what I can get from it, but what can I give? Because if I'm giving, God will refill.
Yeah.
And it'll be tenfold, so then I can give more and it can refill.
Tony Robbins says that's how he grew so big.
That's
he was like,
the truth.
Yeah. And all these big guys like Gary Vee.
Yeah.
I love him because he's always saying, your videos suck because it's about you.
Oh,
Nothing for me. Doesn't tell me how to do it. You're not giving me free information. You're not, this is where you mess up. Don't do this. And, call me if you need. He was like, your videos suck because they're about you. And I was like, dude, he's so right. Tony Robbins says the same thing. He's like, I grew bigger. And as I gave, other people wanted to contribute.
Yes.
Or even if it was secretly or whatever it was, he was like, and then I'd get bigger, and then I'd meet this person, and then I'd start this business.
Yes.
And then I'd tell them, we have to give this much this year. I'd meet people over there. They'd want to grow. I'd grow another business. I was like, wow, it's like a universal law.
Have you ever read the book, The Go-Giver? Okay, it's one of my favorites. It's literally about the circle of being a giver, but ultimately it lands on the importance of receiving. Because I've always been, it's very easy for me to give.
Yeah.
I could give until I was homeless. It's so easy for me to give, but it's very hard. It used to be very hard for me to allow people to give to me. But if you cut that circle off, if you don't allow other people to be givers, you really, it's a short book with a story, and it's a business story. So this guy goes to these different offices and he ends up at a CEO's office. And the lesson is all about you can't just be a giver. You have to give other people the opportunity to give to you, and that is where your abundance will come from.
Yeah.
But it's a really short, quick, easy read, and it's awesome. You have to read it. It's this big. It's so tiny. Yeah. But it's a great story, and it really helped me stop myself anytime somebody's like, oh, let me buy your lunch, because I'm always the girl who's like, no, I got it. And then, you enter different circles, and people want to throw their card down, and being able to say okay, thank you, and just accept.
Yeah.
Accept kindness, allow people to use their heart too. And as soon as you reject that, you're stunting their growth, and ultimately yours too. But that's how I think about it now.
Yeah, I'm that person. If someone tells me that someone's having a surprise birthday, I'll go buy all the stuff. I want to help plan it. I want to be there. But but if I walk in and the surprise is on me, I'm like, what's everyone doing
so
here?
Awkward.
And I have to sit there and open presents in front of people. I'm
gosh.
Okay, this feels weird. Like baby showers or whatever. They're like, oh, open that one. And I'm like, here, babe, open that. I'm like, I feel like I don't like the spotlight. I like giving.
It's more comfortable. It's safer to give.
Yeah.
You feel like, I don't know, there's a piece of me that I always felt like if I receive, then I need to remember that and make sure I give back to them the same amount, which isn't how the world works.
Yeah.
It's okay to be a pay it forward. Maybe the giving is to the next person, right? But I'm with you. I when people are do nice things, you're like, I don't know.
They're sitting there watching you open it. You're like, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, the same.
What is So what's the future with this? I know this is pretty brand new to the Valley. You've already got events lined up.
Yeah.
It's growing already. Like what's next? Or is it you're just kind of playing it by ear and see what happens with people who want to become a partner and all that?
Man, I have like such big plans. I have really great examples. So that where I come from, the Twin Cities Real Producers Magazine is amazing. I've watched it grow over the last 4 years. It's an 85-page production. They do a ton of nonprofit, so there's opportunity to give back. Their events are phenomenal. I have big dreams for where our events will go. I imagine that I don't see why we can't be just like Sacramento or San Diego or Twin Cities, some of these really big cities. I think that we have our area. We may not be that size, but we have a heart that is so different, right?
Yeah.
And I think that goes a long ways. I see this growing. I see us being able to showcase more realtors and more partners every month. I see us being able to do more events. There's some places that do monthly events, when we get to that point where this is running well oiled and I can do monthly events that are for our realtors and our partners. I would love to get to that point.
Which means seeing your connections more often and being top of mind, like we were talking about.
Yeah. And some of them will be, it's in Madera this month, and next month it's in, down in Hanford, so that we can really get the variety out there, and we can cross-reference all of our partners too, and our realtors, like bringing it just together a little bit more. More showcasing, more partners, more collaboration. I really think at the end of the day, I would love to write a book like 365 testimonies of entrepreneurs. That's like these quick one-day, one-page reads that are like, okay, he made it through that. I can too. For the guy that's like, oh, this is just so hard. You read this quick, like,
or how do I get to the next level, or what? What's the secret?
Yeah, and then their name is on there, so you can actually reach out and be like, I read your story in here. Would you have lunch with me? I don't know. I just think. Or
I'm looking for somewhere else to work or grow. Or a lot of people I know move around or whatever it might be. Yeah.
So that I see like the testimonies going somewhere. I see the magazine growing. I see our events getting more frequent. And at some point I dream of, opening Central Coast. So, and having a secondary, like
San Luis Obispo area kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I need a reason to have a house there, Yeah.
You got to have those little write-offs and have connections over there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And as this grows, this magazine will become thicker as more partners, which means for the partners already involved, as we go to events, we'll meet new connections, people that we can use, we can refer them.
Absolutely.
So this is just really getting started.
And we have a wide variety already, but there are so many types of partnerships that I know my realtors are looking for that I'm on the hunt for.
Yeah.
The one-offs, a great electrician, an HVAC guy, a pool builder, these kinds
custom
of
bathrooms, whatever it might be.
Yes, exactly. Like, there's plenty of business out there.
Yeah.
Really, there's just so much business out there for our partners to capture. And I want to make sure that I'm putting the right partners in front of my realtors.
Yeah.
So,
and I feel like this is going to grow because the Valley's growing so fast that now we all just want to capture clients, keep people happy, just let them know, hey, I'm here. You can use me. Yeah. I'm right here. You don't have to go on Google and read 30 reviews and I don't know if I like, a couple of these were kind of weird or,
Yeah.
But no, I think this is actually going to be pretty fun.
I do too.
I'm looking forward to the event too.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
We already have a huge RSVP list, and more than I even anticipated. I definitely feel like this, it's just coming together so well and so nice. And honestly, even when I'm doing interviews and meeting with these realtors and really learning their stories, I have learned from the way that they have grown to the top. And I get to share that too.
Yeah.
I get to learn from it and I get to utilize it. I get to choose to utilize it. That is like such a gift.
Yeah.
That if we all just listen to each other a little bit, we would learn so much.
No, definitely save you a lot of time. When I was talking to Marshall a couple weeks ago, he was like, I've made so many mistakes. almost went through bankruptcy. If I would have had the right, he's like, I'm just trying to teach people what not to do when you're investing in this type of property. I was like, that's going to save people so much time and money.
Yeah.
He was like in heartache.
Oh my
because he was like,
gosh.
and I was like, well, that's what this podcast is for. That's what this is going to be for.
Yeah.
Go to these events. Hey, I heard you, had this. Can I, buy you a coffee? And then I actually want to join your team now, and people can grow or whatever it might be. So I think this is going to be really fun.
Thank you.
Where can people find this? What is this on Instagram?
Yeah, we're Central Valley Real Producers on Instagram and Facebook. Just plain and simple. And
is that part of yours, or is
That's
yours
mine.
Brittney Shull, or are they together?
I'm Brittney Shull. I do have my own Instagram. You'll find like me, my family, and a lot of my real estate, Minnesota real estate business in there.
But you handle the messages on Instagram
and both.
And your personal.
Okay. I do manage. I'm
really
not
are doing
a
it all.
one. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a one man show, but I have some support on it, but I'm kind of it's still in infancy. We're 6 months in, so we've got a lot. I've got a lot to do still, but it's come along really, really well so far. I'm very excited, and I'd love to have you guys follow us and follow the journey from the beginning to the future. Because I don't want it to end. So
no, definitely. All right, awesome. Well, I'm gonna tag all your stuff on the video.
Thank you.
And then we'll probably have to do these like every couple weeks. Knowing the next event's coming out. We'll have the top guys on here too, talk about some of their stories, or everyone has their niche or a really, really fun story to share.
Totally. I mean, every one of these cover stories here has their own complete own story. I mean, not one of them is like telling the same, like, oh yeah, I just like woke up one day and I was doing really well. That's not the reality for anybody. So there's so much to learn from each other.
No, definitely. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Well,
Thank you.
I know you got to run, Brittney.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. I really look forward to doing more of these and then having some of the producers on here as well.
Absolutely.
I'm sure some of these producers will probably go viral and put Central Valley on the map.
Put us on the map.
Through the magazine.
Well, I don't know. Do we want to be put on the map?
I feel like we need to be.
Here.
I know. It's kind of like.
It's like you want both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now that like San Luis Obispo and Pismo's growing the way it is, I'm like, do we want people coming here more? Because now, like, I can't even walk around on Father's Day because it's packed.
But coming here was a blessing to me. So
yeah,
if it can bless somebody else, I think.
Well, that just means it'll expand and more. Six Flags will open up and who knows.
Another.
Yeah, we'll become more popular.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. I'm going to put all the links down below. You guys can catch Brittney Shull on Instagram, Central Valley Realtor Producers. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming on. All right. See you guys on the next one.